After the car accident, you were saying I'm not coming back against easy touches. That's like always been a part of who you are, is fighting the best.
Yeah.
And upon coming back, was this a no-brainer that at this point Tszyu is the best that you can get?
I mean, he wasn't the best that I could get, but I'm not crazy, but I bought nothing. So,
Yeah.
you know, I was looking at Fundora. I'm looking at, you know, top names. Like, yeah, I fight him. Like, cause I'm the type of guy, I really don't believe in ring rust. If I look good in the gym for 9-10 weeks, why I can't look good in the ring, in the fight? Like, what makes the difference? That's a mental thing.
Yeah.
That a lot of people, like, it's like guys, you know, this, man, they good as hell in sparring and practice and that, but when the lights turn on, they fold. And I just feel like I'm different. You know, I feel like I look better outside. I look better in the ring and not in the gym. I look good in the gym, but fight night, I look, you know, it comes out.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that come fight night, I'm gonna show everybody that, you know, ring rust is not a thing. It's more of a mental thing more than anything. And that's what people can't get over, and that's why they need a tune-up fight to get over that mental hump. It's not a thing for me.
Yeah.
Ring rust is not a thing at all.
Right. We as fighters, we always looking at the best. We're looking at the biggest, and sometimes it takes that manager or that person next to us saying, you know what, hey, let's slow it down, and let's start right here. You wanted the biggest of names, and we see now that you have Tszyu, not saying that he's not the biggest of names, but now you have Tszyu. After going away from what you wanted and now you got Tszyu, do you look at this and say, this is the best fight for me right now?
Definitely. I feel like the styles mesh very well. And you ain't got to retract on that. You said, you know what you said. Tim is the biggest of names. You know, he cool, but he's not the biggest of names. And
Errol did an interview with Sean Porter saying that he wasn't trying to fight he wasn't trying to fight Tszyu. He wanted to come back versus Sebastian Fundora. And somebody said, whoa, keep aside. Hey, you go fight Tszyu. You ain't ready for all of that. He wanted, you know, he said, you know, in about tune-ups, he wanted to go straight for Fundora. So Fundora about to be on that, you know, y'all worked in a senior citizen place, man. I used to work in the kitchen, you know, back in the day when I was in school, college and shit. And, you know, they used to eat like rice pudding. They used to eat good when I was at though. They used to eat rice pudding. Used to eat like, you know, no seasoning salmon and a lot of kosher meats and stuff like that. But I remember the one thing they had me serving for a minute. And the old people would ask, is this caffeinated or decaffeinated? It's all caffeinated, but we tell them it had caffeine so they can go to their room and not be hyped up all night. And, you know, that's what they did to Errol Spence. He said, this caffeine? Nah, you know, it's caffeine, it's decaffeinated. And for Errol Spence, man, that's a bad matchup in his prime. However you want to look at it, his whole stance on tune-ups or whatever and rust, you know, he's been proving that he don't give a fuck about it, you know? He don't. You know, he came back out of car accident, went right into a Danny Garcia fight. He wasn't 100% in that fight, but I don't think it had much to do with the rust. It was just the simple fact that he was coming off an injury, you know, then jumped in there with Ugas. I mean, he went through a fucking window. He ran laps around Keith Thurman at the time. Correct laps. Keith Thurman went knee deep into some motherfucking punani and lost his mind. You know, but that's the stance on it. And he said it's a mindset about rust. And I guess when you've been doing something for a lifetime, I feel him on that. I mean, your stance is your stance, you know, and I believe him. Like, come on, you've been doing this for a long time. You got camp, you sparring, you know, and off of 3 years, he wanted to go straight to Fundora. I mean, I think that alone was enough to push him over the line for Hall of Fame. But I think cooler heads prevail. You go over Australia. I mean, you're going to make more money with Tszyu. I think that's what it boiled down to. You're going to make no money with Fundora. I hate to bring it to you. Now, if you come back and you look good versus Tszyu, and then, Fundora don't bring no money. It really ain't worth the risk. Fundora is for the glory. Fundora is for the glory, bro. Ain't no money in fighting Sebastian Fundora, especially if you coming back from 3 years. Ain't nobody buying that fight. Now, if you look good versus Tszyu, and what they should do is put the Tszyu fight and try to partner with ABC or NBC and put the Tszyu fight on regular US TV. Therefore, you can drag more viewers to the Fundora fight. Have Fundora get in the ring, maybe have Fundora commentate, but they ain't got that excess money to spend no more. That Al ain't around. They can say, "Oh, I spoke to Al." You ain't speak to Al. You spoke to AI. Take that I into an L. But, Errol Spence, he showed that Keith Thurman, his last fight, showed they willing to go out on their shield. And unfortunate, they never fought in their prime. But they showed that they willing to go out on their shield, man. And I like Errol mentality, when it comes to this fight now. He told Shine, he said, no, you was right. Fundora is a bigger, but to be honest, you can make a case that Tszyu is a bigger name than Fundora. Even though Fundora beat him, Tszyu bring more money for Errol Spence. Fundora don't have a market. Nobody ever talk. They always talk about, oh, Devin Haney don't do this, or Errol don't do this, or Terrence don't sell this, or Shakur don't do this, or his baby mama don't do this, or he don't sell this, or he don't sell that. They never talk about the guys who don't sell. Sebastian Fundora couldn't sell a candy bar, to a school kid. He can't sell nothing. Fundora is really not worth the risk. It wasn't worth the risk it's not worth the risk for Boots. It's not worth the risk for Xander. It's not worth the risk for nobody. This big, tall motherfucker can't sell nothing. All his fights be in the red. He can't sell Nathan. You can go without your life without fighting him, and your career be just fine. You don't get no shine. No, it's like Tszyu ain't never lost. He got discredited more when he got knocked out versus Mazzaliev in Orlando. And by the way, he still called Boots a monkey, and Boots ain't said nothing about it. Ooh, I ass nigga. But yeah, man. I mean, I respect it, man. I mean, I really do respect it, man. But you coming off a guy that's on his third trainer right now. He got rid of his first trainer. I guess that was their first. Got rid of his second trainer. Now with this guy, you got a guy that ain't look good, ain't look powerful. I don't think the skill set's too far apart. I've been saying that, and some people disagree. I don't really see Errol Spence as a skillful fighter. He make a lot of mistakes. I think Tszyu might be a little bit more technical, but Errol got a little bit more athleticism. He uses jab, but it ain't a dangerous fight, But these the type of fights is you get in there and you lose or you look terrible, then niggas like, you need to pack it up. You need to hang it up. So, we'll see how he look, how he take the punch. But, was it possible? Could he beat Fundora? I mean, the thing about Fundora is he keep his head on the line too much. He keep his head on the line too much. Keith Thurman probably had a better chance to beat Fundora than he do. He keep his head on the line too much. So the thing about him fighting Fundora, your head got to get off that line. And if Errol abandoned that, the number one thing you take away from Errol, you take away his jab. He don't have nothing else. You take away but the one thing he got going for him that Keith didn't is body work. He gonna go to the body. So I think the game plan Ronnie would have is trying to get his head off that line a little bit. Derek did a good job of making him use his feet to get his head off the line. But if he can just give him a little bend, and I'll just have him really jab to the solar plex or jab at the chin, where the chin, I would have him jab from here to here. That's why I would have Errol shooting that jab. And I had Errol tearing the body up. I tell Errol hit him on his wrists, his elbows, his shoulders. I would tell Errol, let's not even worry. Let's make him keep his hands at home. And when I'm able to move just a little bit off the line, I'm able to move, that make him hold his hands. But if I'm jabbing him and I'm creating that jab, you know what I'm saying? And I establish it, and I'm not really trying to jab here. I'm really just trying to jab what I can touch. I'm jabbing where the chin might be tucked down. I'm jabbing what I can touch, just to hold them in the little bit of movement, touch the body. And then I want to hit them here, wherever I can here, so you can hold his hands. But if you constantly balling up and you jabbing and you popping, but he can move his hand, you want to get him to, you want him to worry about what you got going on. So if he got to worry about that one, that's holding him. You give him a little bit of movement, fainting a little bit, that's holding him. You know what I'm saying? If you can make him miss, and you don't worry about making him pay with a legal shot, but if I can make him pay off the elbow and feel it, Mexican punch, hit him on the hip, he can feel it. Hit him on the shoulder, he can feel it. Now, if I get to 5'6", he ain't getting off. He ain't pop, 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 pop. A lot of these motherfuckers, they be throwing the land versus him. Sometimes you got to do throwaway punches, or you got to do punches on the hip, on the elbow, on the shoulder. You know, punch the chest, take the wind out of the solar plexus, hit what you can hit. Therefore, he start feeling them. He gonna keep his hands home. But if he able to, you looking for that one shot and you load up, he pop you, and now he can move his hands. Now he ain't got to worry about you looking to land. But if you just land what you can, body shot here, elbow shot here, jab to the solar plex, feint here, move a little bit here. You making him hold his hands. Now he working. Now he expending energy. You making him think. And now when the focus be going off, and you threw this, now you can land that big shot. Now that his arm the reflexes ain't, you just don't want him to get off on you. That's what I'm saying. You want to make him keep his hands home. You want to make him mentally drained. You want to make him ball up. But if he able just to, that's what you don't want. And that's what I said. A lot of them dudes get in there trying to land that shot that Mendoza land. I'm getting in there. I'm telling Errol or who anybody get in there, we got to work the angles. We got to keep our head off line, but we got to hit what we can hit. If you can hit the stomach, Errol, hit the stomach. If you can find his solar plex from his chin, hit there. Even if you come up a little bit short, you know what I'm saying? Hit the elbow, hit his arm, hit his wrist. You see with his bicep, man, hit that bicep. Jab that bicep. Hit that left hand with the bicep. Touch his hip. Hit the body shot when you get in there. Don't stay over this, over like he gonna hit you with the uppercut. Get off the line. Smother him. You know what I'm saying? When you smother a fighter, guess what? Time up, drop your weight, put your head to get. I mean, it's just little things, man, that you gotta be able to do, man. But if you trying to punch to land that money shot off the rip, you in desperation. You trying to hit a home run, you know. You trying to hit a full base home run in the ninth inning, it ain't gonna, in the first inning, it ain't gonna work. But hey, it is what it is. Hit the link in the description, join the Patreon, find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, the whole 9 piece.